Letters to Dead Authors, to Lucian of Samosata. In what bower, O Lucian, of your rediscovered islands fortunate, are you now reclining, the delight of the fair, the learned, the witty, and the brave, in that clear and tranquil climate whose air breathes of violet and lily, myrtle, and the flower of the vine? Where the daisies are rose-scented, and the rose herself has got perfume, which on earth is not, among the music of all the birds, and the wind-blown notes of flutes hanging on the trees, methinks that your laughter sounds most silvery sweet, and that Helen and fair Charmides are still of your company, master of mirth and soul, the best contented of all that have seen the world's ways clearly, most clear-sighted of all that have made tranquillity their bride. What other laughers dwell with you, where the crystal and fragrant waters wander round the shining places and the temples of amethyst? Hine surely is with you, if indeed it was not one Syrian soul that dwelt among alien men, Germans and Romans, in the bodily tabernacle of Hine and of Lucian. But he was fallen on evil times and evil tongues, while Lucian, as witty as he, as bitter in mockery, is happily dowered with the magic of words, lived long and happily and honored, imprisoned in no mattress grave. Without Rabelais, without Voltaire, without Heine, you would find, methinks, even the joys of your happy islands lacking in zest, and, unless Plato came by your way, none of the ancients could meet you in the lists of supportive dialogue. There among the vines that bear 12 times in the year, more excellent than all the vineyards of Touraine, while the songbirds bring you flowers from vales enchanted, and the shapes of the blessed come and go, beautiful in wind-woven raiment of sunset hues. There, in a land that knows not age, nor winter, midnight, nor autumn, nor noon, where the silver twilight of summer dawn is perennial, where youth does not wax spectre pale and die, there, my Lucian, you are crowned the prince of the paradise of mirth. Who would bring you, if he had the power, from the banquet where Homer sings, Homer, who in mockery of commentators past and to come, German and Greek, informed you that he was by birth a Babylonian? Yet, if you, who first wrote Dialogues of the Dead, could hear the prayer of an epistle wafted to lands indiscoverable in the unheard of West, you might visit once more a world so worthy of such a mocker, so like the world you knew so well of old. Ah, Lucian, we have need of you. If he had the power. Ah, Lucian, we have need of you, of your sense and of your mockery. Here where faith is sick and superstition is waking afresh, where gods come rarely and specters appear at 5 shillings an interview, where science is popular and philosophy cries aloud in the marketplace, and clamor does duty for government, and thighs and lays are names of power here. Lucian, is room and scope for you. Can I not imagine a new auction of philosophers, and what wealth might be made by him who brought these popular sages and lecturers at his estimate and vended them at their own? Hermes. Whom shall we put first up to auction? Zeus. That German in spectacles, he seems a highly respectable man. Hermes. Ho, pessimist, come down and let the public view you. Zeus. Go on, put him up and have done with him. Hermes. Who bids for the life miserable, for extreme, complete, perfect, unredeemable perdition? What offers for the universal extinction of the species and the collapse of the conscious? A purchaser. He does not look at all a bad lot. May one put him through his paces? Hermes. Certainly, try your luck. Purchaser. What is your name? Pessimist. Hartman. Purchaser. What can you teach me, pessimist? That life is not worth living, purchaser. Wonderful, most edifying. How much for this lot? Hermes, 200 pounds. Purchaser, I will write you a check for the money. Come home, pessimist, and begin your lessons without more ado. Hermes, attention, here is a magnificent article. The positive life, the scientific life, the enthusiastic life. Who bids for a possible place in the calendar of the future? Purchaser, what does he call himself? He has a very French air. Hermes, put your own questions, purchaser. What's your pedigree, my philosopher, and previous performances? Positivist. I am by Rousseau, out of Catholicism, with a strain of the evolution blood. Purchaser. What do you believe in? Positivist. In man, with a large M. Purchaser. Not an individual man? Positivist. By no means, not even always in Mr. Gladstone. All men, all churches, all parties, all philosophies, and even the other sect of our own church are perpetually in the wrong. Buy me and listen to me, and you will always be in the right. Purchaser. And after this life, what have you to offer me? Positivist. A distinguished position in the choir invisible, but not, of course, conscious immortality. Purchaser. Take him away and put up another lot. Then the Hegelian with his notion, and the Darwinian with his notions, and the Lotzian with his broad church mixture of religion and evolution, and the Spencerian with the absolute, which is a sort of something, might all be offered with their divers wares, and cheaply enough, Lucian, you would value them in this auction of sects. There is but one way to Corinth, as of old, but which that way may be, O master of Hermotimus, we know no more than he did of old, and still we find, of all philosophies, that the Stoic route is most to be recommended. But we have our Cyrenaics too, though they are no longer clothed in purple and crowned with flowers, and fond of drink and of female flute players. Ah, here too, you might laugh and fail to see where the pleasure lies, when the Cyrenaics are no judges of cakes, nor of ale for that matter, and are strangers in the courts of princes, to despise all things, to make use of all things, in all things to follow pleasure only. That is not the manner of the new, if it were the secret of the older hedonism. Then turning from the philosophers to the seekers after a sign, what change, Lucian? What do you find in them in their ways? None. They are quite unaltered, still are peregrinus, and our peregrina too come to us from the east, or, if from the west, they take India on their way, India, that secular home of driveling creeds and of religion in its sacerdotage. Still they prattle of Brahmins and Buddhism, though unlike peregrines, they do not publicly burn themselves on pyres at Epsom Downs after the Derby. We are not so fortunate in the demise of our theosophists, and our police less wise than the Hellenodike would probably not permit the immolation of the quack. Like your Alexander, they deal in marvels and miracles, oracles and warnings, all such bogey stories as those of your Philosuedos, and the ghost of the lady who took to table rapping because one of her best slippers had not been burned with her body and gravely investigated by the Physical Society. Even your ignorant bibliophile is still with us, the man without a tinge of letters who buys up old manuscripts because they are stained and gnawed, and who goes for proof of valued antiquity to the testimony of the bookworms. And the rich bibliophile now, as in your satire, clothes his volumes in purple morocco and gay dorures, while their contents are sealed to him. As to the topic of satire and gay curiosity which occupy the lady known as Gyp, and, and M. Helevé in his Les Petits Cardinals, if you had not exhausted the matter in your dialogues of Héderet, you would be amused to find the same old traits surviving, without a touch of change. One reads in Helevé's French of Madame Cardinal, and in your Greek of the mother of Philina, and marvels that 1800 years have not in one single trifle altered the mold. Still the old shabby light loves, the old greed and the old luxury and squalor, still the unconquerable superstition that now seeks to tell fortunes by the cards, and in your time resorted to the sorceress with her magical bull roar and turnodum. The Greek rhombos, mentioned by Lucian and Theocritus, was the magical weapon of the Australians, the turndun. Yes, Lucian, we are the same vein, creatures of doubt and dread, of unbelief and credulity, of avarice and pretense that you knew and at whom you smiled. Nay, our very social question is not altered. Do you not write in the Runaways, the artisans will abandon their workshops and leave their trades when they see that with all the labor that bows their bodies from dawn to dark, they make a petty and starveling pittance, while men that toil not nor spin are floating in Pactolus. They begin to see this again as of yore, but whether the end of their vision will be a laughing matter, you, fortunate Lucian, do not need to care. Hail to you, and farewell.